It's it's pretty amazing, but here I am on what is it, March 3rd, I guess it is. It's going on almost 11 p.m. here on the Big Island, Big Rock, right, of Hawaii. And and if you've ever followed some of my videos, because really what it is a library of experiences of basically the roadmap that I took from the time I was 4 years old. And you would have to listen to the whole thing to actually be able to tie what we call loose ends, doing grid work, mechanic work on a broken grid system. And the complexity of it is it's complex, certainly mathematically and crystalline wise, particularly with alien machinery, artificial intelligence, right? Shattered pieces of stuff, right? Fragments. So I thought, there are no coincidences. Like, for example, I just get done watching a little video of the Brooklyn Dodgers, right? And I was born on November 10th, 1951. That's three. And three is one, which is one. And so I mentioned why it was. And some of my videos, if you go way back to, oh gosh, those videos are gone. That's right. I've had to change phones and circulation libraries. I've lost a lot of stuff that's just gone, lost in space. But I suppose if you could do this, if you can remember this, some of the places I took my vortex. My pole, I'm taking my pole with me, mama. Okay. So you'd have to go between the Southern California mountains on the Angeles National Forest above what's known as the Arroyo Seco, and then run a line to San Francisco, Golden Gate, right? Particularly South San Francisco, and then run a line over to Lihue on flight 1111, right? 3 times 4 is 12, which is back to 3. 3 times 7 is 21. Now we're back to 3. Rainbow. Remember I talked about the rainbow, the big ass rainbow circle around the entire airplane leaving San Francisco. Back when was that? December 15th, I think it was, last year, 2022. Landed in Lihue. Hung out in a place called Kekaha Beach. Badass electrical storm came through there. But I think I shared with y'all what happened the first night I got there that I landed. I had to go through all that BS with masks and, oh, we're not going to let you on the rock, man, because we got to make sure that you got a place to see. I mean, the level of crimes on this is just ridiculous, but you maintain your peace. You realize you're surrounded by Mr. Smiths, right? And so I managed to be able to get out of the airport alive. Okay. But I was not to be denied to plant my feet on the soil. Remember, I get off the airplane after leaving San Francisco, the mainland, flew over the ocean with a rainbow circle protecting the entire airplane. And then when I land in Lihue, I could see the rainbow covering the entire airplane as it banked. Right? It was coming in for an approach. And so it was important for me because it had been quite a few years, over 50 years since I left that island, the island of Kauai, when I was there in 1972 and 1973, when I told you about a place I was at between Honolulu Bay and Hyannis Point. Bang! Wow. It was like an overpowering acceleration of speed with a magnetic drive. I'm experiencing in my heart, right? That was expanding so fast with so much pure light that it nearly physically knocked me off my feet. So I realized, wow, what I opened. So you know that there's not a coincidence why I was there at that time, at that specific moment, right? Okay, so that's why I cried when I left the island, because I know Mama's essence, the flower essence. Okay, that's the flower art. Okay, that's Lemuria. Okay, Mu, M-U. It's one of the reasons why sometimes, if you've ever noticed, sometimes, not on all mine, because I change the way that I sign my letters, but it's always forever and always, and it's always with aloha, nui loa, which means family. If you know the Lemurian language, parts of it's very simple. It's called pono, which means what's right. We know what's right. Pono, when you speak pono to Hawaiian Lemurians, pono means you're on the right path. Kuleana means this is my kuleana, this is my journey. It's the same thing. I'm on a soul's journey. I am on my journey, which means the lessons and the reason for which I exist is known, right? By the spirit and the soul that have a relationship that is guiding our journey. Okay, that's like I talked about before. Okay, so I sign sometimes with a little lip kiss, which it's known as mua. Mua. That's a kiss, like blowing a kiss of flowers. Blowing a kiss of flowers is blowing the kiss of aloha, which is blowing the life force, the living spirit between the father and the mother, joined as one. That's what it means when I do that. When I sometimes I'll put up M-U-A-H, mua, right? And so these are internal intentions of the energy, but sometimes the receiver on the other end may not necessarily feel exactly what I'm feeling when I'm communicating that amount of energy, the way in which that energy is intended to flow. So I use those particular letters to try, to the closest that I can, emulate what you can experience, what I'm experiencing by virtue of that much energy, which represents that much love. Right, the flower essences of a goddess, right? And so when you come back to what is it? Leaving in 1973, and then I went back and forth between the Big Island, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Southern Oregon, right? Back to San Francisco, and then to in between a couple of stops between Oahu and Reno, Nevada. Okay. And then flying out between Hilo, right, and Los Angeles. And then, of course, from San Francisco to Lihue, right? And then Los Angeles to Kona, and where I'm at now, right? So if you follow these patterns over time-space vectors, you can sort of triangulate with a buzzsaw why I just got done watching that little video, and I thought, I'm led as if my heart knows where to go. So where did I go before I was going to go to sleep for the night? Circle of Dolphins. Like I already know what I'm going to read when I get there. So I'm reading Lisa Renee. And here right in front of me is Mua, Lemurian and Atlantean Holocaust. And the importance of Kauai, which is they spell it with an AI, right? And how this ties to another set of prints, or if you will, mathematical grid mechanic language, and that you can find if you go back and look at some of the Voyager materials that were presented by Ashada. And in one very short segment, in other words, you could watch 40 videos, you could watch 1,000. And if you didn't catch it, and you didn't see it, and if you didn't look at the map, you wouldn't have got it. And the relationship to the island of Kauai. Okay. I know. So if you go read today's little blurb message from Lisa Renee on the Circle of Dolphins, you can see what we've been doing and why. And now she's providing the feedback, right? She could have put that up there 50 years ago. But Circle of Dolphins on the internet wasn't around 50 years ago, was it? So now you can read about it in the now. It's naturally it all goes back to Mama. I give Mama all my hearts. Any hearts that you all ever give me out there, any thumbs up, they all go back to Mama Earth. Okay? These were major operations. Big operations. Big celestial mechanic work. When you get into the complexity of it. But it's actually quite simple when you're a monopole. Know what I mean? Running a monopole. Ground this baby right into this planet ship. That allows you to have access to whatever's there. Back to the beginning of no time. I know, Mama. So I want to thank you all. Thank you, Lisa Renee, for putting that up. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, girl. Love you all. Y'all have a good night. Sweet dreams, moi, and all that good stuff.